So on this job, it's been booked in for a split cylinder coil. So what I've done, I've isolated the header tank and drained it, and then just looked at the outlet down there. We've had it like this for about 20 minutes and the water hasn't been coming in. So we know we don't have a split coil. We know because the water level in the cold water tank is higher. If it was a split coil, the cold water tank would go down through the coil and overflow the header tank. Now if the header tank was higher, it'd go down through the coil and push back up into the cold water tank. I mean, the easiest way I find to diagnose it is just drain whichever tank is the lowest and then see if it fills up. So this system's got a build-up of what people thought was air, but it was actually hydrogen gas. It's been getting vented for about the last 3 months, and I got sent around that to have a look. So I've booked it in to be reflushed. This one's quite a funny one. Somebody came around here a week or two ago because the immersion had tripped on the overheat. So they reset it. Apparently that's happened again. So I came in and I was like, how come you're using the immersion? Apparently all the rods get up, but I've checked that out, there's nothing wrong with it. We'll see, as you can see though, the overheat reset button, which is here, that little red button, it has actually tripped and is sticking out. So I was checking for like loose connections, checked out all the immersion, it's all fine. But it was getting up. So I tried the water and the water's absolutely baking up. So what I've seen is, it's got like this, what do you call it? Like digital wireless RF cylinder stack. When you're in the hot water, I mean that is, it's got to be, I don't know, I'm going to guess 70 or 80. Now obviously bear in mind that's now turned down, so our zone valve should be shut. So, the boiler's still on. And our hot water zone valve is still open. So, God, this job's a bloody nightmare. Got a customer trying to tell me what the problem is, even though it's nothing to do with it. It keeps telling me it's a bloody programmer. Okay. Surely that wouldn't fail in the open position, which is what it is doing. That one, sheet energizer one, that must go in that way. Fuck knows what that means. Probably got to rebind it now, somewhat. is absolutely baking up. What is that? Somebody put like heat sink paste on it as well. Jesus. Got heat sink paste on it. Well, I've never seen that before. That's dedication. So that's saying it's 60. So we might have done it, you know. So I've set it down at 40. Reckons it's at 62. So what I want to see now is if the boiler's actually gone off. And let's just do the reset on that. So now I'm going to go see if the boiler's gone off. It actually will be off at first because I turned down the temperature on it. So just turn back up the temperature on it now. The zone valve is closed, which is good. So that seems to be it. So it seems to be the batteries were faulty, and when the batteries somehow go faulty, that leaves it in the on position, which is a little bit crazy. I mean, look at that, I'm running the hot water in here. I mean, you can't really see it well in the video, but it's really smoky in here and cloudy. I mean, I feel like I'm in a sauna. That is absolutely mental. You can't appreciate all the steam that's actually in this room. It doesn't do it justice. I mean, look at that. Baking up. It's that hot that at the moment the reset on it is actually still stuck up. I can't even reset it yet, it's that hot. So I'm going to run off some water and then reset it. Jesus. I mean, it's like a sauna in here. I just wish it would pick it up better on the camera. Mental. How hot it is, look, watch. Okay, see that? See if it'll do it on this one. No. Baking up. Right, so I think we've pretty much sussed it all out. That's calling for heat. What I'm going to do now, I'm just going to quickly heat it up via the boiler and then just make sure that that immersion stat does actually stay off. That's just kind of bulletproofing myself because I was here for that, you know. If you end up getting a call in a few days' time saying it doesn't bloody turn off on that side of it, you look like a twat. So we'll just double check that. Let's crank that up. So I've got the boiler on now for 5 or 10 minutes and I set the stat quite low. And obviously I was still getting power through it because it was still calling. Now we're not. Which is good. So just double prove that all that lot works. So now we're good to go. So back at this job, where I expect it's all blocked up, so I've just bunged it. And I'm just cracking the filter. And hopefully this will stop in a minute. might do as well. I think I might do the top pump valve, but I want to have a little look here. Maybe on the top. That doesn't seem bad there, it's right on that T. Quite a bit. I mean, it is quite a big system. There we go, so that's our system bunged. I'm going to maybe open up that valve. So I've just got it all bunged, obviously. Yeah, we're all good. Just going to whip this pump out and have a quick little look. That spanner's a beast. That makes light work of them. Maybe you can kind of see that bit, it's completely blocked up. You should be able to like, see through the channels a bit. Because I've got a new pump anyway that I've planted it. I'm just going to prise that bit off there. And that's all the crap that's in it. So I mean, all these channels here, that's where the water needs to be pushed through to propel it. And you've got all that in the way. The same here. So that obviously wouldn't have been helping. That's probably why it was overheating before when I was here quite quickly. Because obviously the pump's not able to circulate the water. So you can see already how it's starting to look a lot better. So if you're ever doing like a power flush and or a cold feed and vent, always check your pump impeller as well, because you'll go through all that effort and it still won't work properly. Someone else will come around and see the bloody pump's full of shit. So that's that bit anyway. What I want to do as well is just cut this section of pipe. I mean, I should cut out that main flow really. I might just try and look down this bit. So when you're doing this well, be prepared. Also I've got couplings on there, got a lever valve, got caps, ready to get on top of it if that happens. So there's a bit of a layer around it, but nothing too crazy. Tight most of the time. Right, that's that on there. So I reckon that should get us good circulation back. I do kind of want to look in that pipe of the boiler, but I might just book it in for a flush now. Just have to get it working with the new pump. Should just about get on. Right, so I'm just basically putting a new pump on. Kind of decided at this moment, I probably don't think it's worth power flushing it. I think it's probably going to work. I mean, that's a little bit controversial because some people say, oh, you got any kind of dirt in the system, power flush it. But the amount of rads they've got and the amount of money it's going to cost, and I do think it's going to work pretty good after I change this pump. So yeah, we'll just have it left as that basically. So I'm now just taking out the bungs. God knows why I was grabbing the vent first, I always do it. But really should take out the feed, then the vent. It's quite tight. I think that scale on that vent pipe is maybe why it wasn't holding. I think there's allowing a bit of air to get in. There we go. A weak from that pump valve. Yeah, that should do it. So as you can see, it does sound a bit airy. Now I could sit here jamming a screwdriver in and out there. Some people change the speeds here, some people just unplug this and plug it back in and try and get rid of the air. What I'm going to do instead, I'm going to do it on the boiler. So we've got siphon fill mode on. Now I'm going to go chill out for 10 minutes or so, come back in and it should have done its thing for me. And here on the pump it's just going to stop and start it for me. A little weep on that pump valve. See, there you go, now it stopped it. And then it'll start it. There we go. Just frees you up to do something else. Now we have just come back in after the air purge mode's completed. I'm just putting it into service mode or chimney sweep mode. And I'm just going to run it a little bit and just make sure it doesn't overheat really quickly. I'm going to skip this bit forward a little bit because it was a bit time consuming. So the boiler's been on now for probably a good 13-14 minutes. It's got up to 72, 73, and it's just kind of ticking along nicely. So that has pretty much resolved it for now, and it'll be booked in for a power flush, and that shall be the end of it. So here we got a Worcester 2000, I think it was, and we're basically just giving it a service and added the power off, and our siphon fill mode's come on, so you basically turn it off. The L2 was the menu 2. I think it's actually got 6 menus on this boiler. So we're in 4A2, that's siphon fill mode, and now I've just turned it off. As you can see, it's disappeared. Then I'm just going to show you how to turn it back on. It's very important, you must turn this thing back on. You only turn it off for working purposes. It is a safety feature. So that's going to be it now back on, and then we should see it come back on now when we just run the boiler normally. Okay, so now I'm going to be looking to range rate this boiler. Range rating the boiler is important because you can basically reduce the power output. So it's set at 80%, which on a 25 kilowatt boiler is going to be about 20 kilowatts on heating mode. Lowest you can go is 50%, and that's going to make it about 12 kilowatt. So I've basically reduced the output from a 20 kilowatt heat only boiler, let's just call it, to a 12 kilowatt boiler. So I just had to turn off siphon fill mode here because obviously I'd range rated it down and I would just want it to run as normal, but the bloody siphon fill mode was on, so I've just turned it off. What I do in a minute as well, actually gas rate the appliance, and it comes in at 12 kilowatts. So if you've got a big boiler running a very small system, all it's going to do is basically going to cycle on and off. It's not actually going to get a chance to rate itself down. It's just going to come on, heat up very quickly, knock itself off, come back on, knock itself off, come back on. So that's where the range rating really does come in a bit of a treat for these boilers. So it is valent. I've just whacked it on the receiver. Let's try the light. You can hear the pump kick in. Pressure's on 1.9, 1.8, 1.9. Still the same. So pump's not on. Pump's now on. Still the same. So now my pump works. So I reckon we've got a blocked up pressure sensor. Now to get over this, what I'm going to do temporarily is just increase the boiler pressure. I'm going to maybe bang it up to about 2.5 bar, and hopefully that should kickstart it into life. I'll just try to put more in it and hopefully kick it in. Come on. Come on, baby. There we go. It's filling out. There we go. So that should do us temporarily. And we'll get a new pressure sensor. Okay, guys, so on this video, I've just basically been in there, done the boiler service, come out to gas rate it, and start doing my landlords, and obviously you can see that the camera's been probably by the electrician putting the F bonding in there. Now you can't do that. The earthing cable cannot come in the back of the box, and it definitely should not take out the knockout. So it's classed as at risk. Now I am just basically showing you how to put some it wasn't Fernox F3, it was leak sealer. I can't remember what F number it is now actually. But basically putting the leak sealer in through a TF1 filter. I mean, it's the same process anyway. Very, very easy. You ain't got to turn nothing off. Just basically undo the bottom of the TF1 filter, connect up your spray, pop it in there, close it back off, and then you're pretty much done. Obviously it's best to obviously run the heating for maybe half an hour at least as well. So yeah, I'm just undoing it. I always find when I try and undo it, that fucking bit of rubber just gets in my way, so I just pull it off. So there you go. Get it on nice and tight. Use the cap thing to open it up. Tilt the can up right, give it a quick spray. You kind of hear them pop a little bit. That's when you know they're done. Close it off. Now I was closing it off, but the handle bit wasn't quite biting, so I didn't have it on obviously the right way. So when I turned it, it actually overturned, and I thought that didn't really feel right. So a little bit of messing around there. Pop that cover back on. Obviously you should put the little rubber bit back too. Easy money. Now it's just my little gas meter job earlier on where I've at-risked it. Now it's just a quick route to put the boiler into P0, P1, whatever you want to call it. Basically hold the plus button and press the reset button at the same time, but keep hold of the plus button. Some guys turn off the power, they're pissing around, turn off the bloody fuse spare. Basically press that. Thanks for watching. If anything helps you out, subscribe. Cheers. Ultimately, just press the plus, reset it, and it'll do exactly the same.